Have you ever stopped to wonder why chasing him feels so exhausting? Why, no matter how much effort you pour into it, calls, texts, planning surprises, it seems like he's drifting further away? You're not alone. Many women find themselves in this emotional trap, running after men who either don't reciprocate their feelings or give just enough attention to keep them hanging on. It's draining, isn't it? Yet, on the flip side, you've probably noticed women who seem to attract men effortlessly. They're magnetic, confident, and glowing with self-assured charm. What are they doing differently? Is there some secret they know that the rest of us don't? Today, we'll uncover a transformative truth. Chasing him doesn't work because it shifts the power dynamics and signals desperation. Instead, the real key to capturing his heart is to stop chasing entirely. You need to shift your focus inward and discover your own untapped power, one that radiates naturally and draws people toward you without a single desperate move. Imagine, for a moment, how liberating it would feel to step away from chasing and watch as he leans in to pursue you. That's what we're about to dive into, a series of proven, practical, and deeply empowering ways to change your approach to relationships. You'll learn how to channel your energy into personal growth, cultivate an irresistible aura, and use principles rooted in Stoicism and Dark Stoic Psychology to transform how men see you and how you see yourself. Stay with me, because each step is designed to not only elevate your love life, but enrich every part of who you are. Together, we're going to unravel the mystery of attraction, strip away the myths, and step into the confident, radiant version of yourself that doesn't chase men, she attracts them. So, are you ready to unlock your natural allure and discover what it feels like to be genuinely desired? Let's begin with the first and most essential step. 1. Happiness starts with you. Take a moment to ask yourself this. Where does your happiness come from? Is it tied to someone else's affection, attention, or approval? Be honest. Most of us are conditioned to believe that happiness comes from external validation, especially from romantic relationships. But here's the kicker. That belief is what sets you up for disappointment, heartache, and the exhausting cycle of chasing. Let's flip the script. Imagine if your happiness wasn't tied to him or anyone else. What if it came from within you? A deep well of joy, fulfillment, and purpose that no one could take away. This is where true attraction begins. When your happiness is self-sourced, you radiate a confidence that is magnetic. Men are instinctively drawn to women who are content within themselves because it signals strength, independence, and emotional stability. Think about it. Would you be attracted to someone who seems constantly needy, desperate, or overly dependent on you for their happiness? Probably not. That's why this step is so transformative. To cultivate this inner happiness, start by asking, what makes me feel alive? What brings me joy that has nothing to do with anyone else? Maybe it's hiking in the mountains, painting, learning a new language, or simply dancing around your living room to your favorite playlist. These are the activities that remind you of your own vibrant energy, the kind of energy that draws others to you, like a moth to a flame. The philosophy of Stoicism teaches us to anchor our happiness in what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and choices. This is where your power lies. When you stop relying on external sources, like his attention for your emotional well-being, you become untouchable. He'll sense your confidence, your independence, and your completeness, and that's irresistible. But here's the secret sauce. This isn't just about doing things to look busy. It's about genuinely building a life that excites and fulfills you, a life so rich and rewarding that someone would be lucky to be part of it. This shift doesn't just change how others see you, it changes how you see yourself. Let's bring in a little Dark Stoic psychology here. This principle encourages you to take control of your narrative. If he senses that you're chasing him because you've tied your happiness to his response, the dynamic shifts in his favor. But when he sees that your joy doesn't depend on him, that you're a whole, radiant individual who doesn't need validation, he'll feel compelled to get closer, to uncover the mystery of your independence. It's not about manipulation, it's about mastering your emotional landscape. When you exude inner joy, you naturally command respect and admiration. And guess what? The men who recognize and cherish this are the ones worth keeping around. Here's a simple exercise to try. Write down 3 activities or practices that make you happy, things you can do right now without anyone's input. It could be a morning yoga session, journaling with a cup of tea, or finally starting that passion project you've been dreaming about. Now, commit to doing at least one of these daily. As you do, notice how your energy shifts, how you start feeling more grounded, radiant, and in control. Happiness starts with you. And the beauty of this is that it's completely within your power. Once you master this, you'll find that men, and people in general, are naturally drawn to your light. Why? Because self-sourced happiness is rare, and it's incredibly attractive. But here's the question. Are you ready to start living a life that makes you happy regardless of who notices? Because when you do, he will notice. And it won't be because you chased him, it'll be because you stopped. 2. The freedom of an abundance mindset. Have you ever found yourself obsessing over just one person, convincing yourself that he's the one, and that if you can't win him over, no one else will do? It's like tunnel vision, isn't it? You can't imagine being happy without him, so you pour all your energy into trying to make it work. But here's the harsh truth. This scarcity mindset, the belief that there's only one perfect match for you, is what's keeping you stuck. And worse, it's pushing him further away. Let me ask you this. What would change if you believed there are countless possibilities for love out there? Imagine feeling calm, centered, and confident, knowing that if one connection doesn't work out, another, even better one, is waiting for you. This is the freedom of an abundance mindset, a perspective that not only liberates you from desperation, but also makes you magnetic to others. When you adopt an abundance mindset, everything shifts. Instead of clinging tightly to one person, you open yourself to the idea that the world is full of people who might be a perfect fit for you. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's reality. There are over 8 billion people on this planet, and statistically speaking, there are many men who could make incredible partners for you. Now, let me introduce a powerful concept from Stoicism, the idea of detachment. This doesn't mean you stop caring about people. It means you stop attaching your happiness to their actions or decisions. When you can let go of the need for one specific outcome, you not only feel more at peace, but you also create space for better opportunities to flow into your life. Think of it like holding sand in your hand. If you grip it tightly, the sand spills through your fingers. But if you hold it loosely, the sand stays in place. Relationships are the same. The more you cling to one person, the more they feel pressured and likely to pull away. But when you embody ease and openness, you allow connections to flow naturally. Here's where Dark Stoic Psychology comes into play. When you believe in abundance, you communicate a quiet confidence that captivates others. Men can sense when you're not desperate, when you're not hinging your self-worth on their attention. This creates intrigue. They'll wonder, why isn't she chasing me? What's so amazing about her life that she doesn't need to? And let's be clear, this isn't a game or manipulation. It's about genuinely understanding your own value and trusting that what's meant for you will never miss you. This mindset makes you calm, centered, and undeniably attractive. Here's a quick exercise to strengthen your abundance mindset. Take out a piece of paper or your journal and list all the qualities you'd love in a partner. Be specific but also realistic. Now, reflect on how many people could potentially meet those criteria. It's probably more than you think, isn't it? By doing this, you'll start to see that no single person holds the key to your happiness, and that realization is pure freedom. Now let's address another myth. Society often romanticizes the idea of a soulmate, that one person who is destined to complete you. But what if we turn that idea on its head? Instead of searching for someone to complete you, what if you became so whole, so fulfilled, that any relationship simply enhanced your already amazing life? This shift in perspective takes the pressure off every interaction and allows you to relax and enjoy the process of getting to know someone. When you're not obsessed with making one connection work, you're free to be yourself, playful, authentic, and magnetic. And believe me, men notice that. So, how do you embrace abundance in your daily life? Start by broadening your horizons. Meet new people, try new activities, and explore different interests. Not because you're looking for a man, but because you're building a life so vibrant that someone would be lucky to share it with you. And here's the real magic. When you stop fixating on one person and focus on living your best life, you become incredibly attractive, not just to potential partners, but to everyone around you. People are drawn to those who exude self-assurance and joy. So let me ask you, are you ready to release the scarcity mindset that's been holding you back? Are you ready to embrace the freedom of abundance and trust that the right person will find you when you're living fully and authentically? If you're nodding along, here's your chance to join the conversation. Like this video and comment number 1 if you're loving these insights. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss more transformative advice like this. Together, we're creating a movement of women who know their worth and attract love effortlessly. When you embrace abundance, you're not just changing how you approach relationships, you're transforming your entire life. And isn't that worth exploring? Let me know if this resonates, and I'll continue with the next section. 3. Stop chasing. The psychological impact. Picture this. You've been putting in all the effort. You're texting him first, planning meetups, finding ways to keep the conversation alive. But instead of drawing him closer, it feels like he's slipping further away. Frustrating, isn't it? That's because chasing shifts the dynamic of attraction. It places all the power in his hands and leaves you feeling powerless. Let's be clear. Chasing him won't make him value you. If anything, it often makes him take you for granted. Why? Because what we chase tends to run. The psychology behind this is simple but powerful. When you chase someone, you're subconsciously signaling that you value them more than yourself. You're saying, "You're so important that I'm willing to put aside my dignity and self-worth to win your attention." This isn't an attractive message. People are drawn to confidence, self-respect, and independence, not desperation. Here's where Stoicism offers a guiding principle. Value yourself enough to prioritize your own growth over anyone else's approval. The more you chase, the more you reinforce a scarcity mindset, the belief that this one man is the only source of your happiness. But when you stop chasing, you reclaim your power. Think about it. Have you ever been drawn to someone who seemed desperate for your attention? Probably not. We're naturally more attracted to people who are confident and self-assured, people who seem to be thriving on their own. This is why not chasing is so effective. It shifts the energy. Instead of broadcasting neediness, you radiate calm confidence. Let me share a concept from Dark Stoic Psychology that can help you master this shift. The principle is this. The moment you stop needing someone, they start noticing your absence. It's not about playing games. It's about aligning your actions with self-respect. When you stop chasing and instead focus on building your own life, he'll feel the difference. He'll see that you're not dependent on his attention to feel good about yourself, and that's incredibly attractive. This doesn't mean you should be cold or distant. It's about finding a balance where you're open and receptive, but not over-investing in someone who hasn't earned your energy. It's about creating a dynamic where he has to step up and meet you halfway. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to let go of the chase entirely. To stop worrying about whether he's texting back fast enough or showing the interest you're hoping for. Instead, you focus that energy inward on your goals, your passions, your friendships, and your self-care. How freeing would that feel? Here's a practical step you can take today. Set boundaries for how much energy you're willing to give. If you find yourself constantly initiating conversations or bending over backward to make plans, take a step back. Give him the space to come to you. If he's interested, he will. If he's not, you've saved yourself from investing in someone who doesn't value you. Either way, you win. It's important to understand that chasing often comes from fear of losing him, fear of being alone, fear of not being enough. But fear-based actions rarely lead to fulfilling relationships. Instead, try approaching relationships from a place of abundance and self-worth. When you truly believe that you're enough as you are, you won't feel the need to chase. The most intriguing people in the world are those who are comfortable in their own skin. They're the ones who don't need anyone else to complete them because they're already whole. This is the energy you want to embody. It's the energy that not only attracts others but also builds deeper, more meaningful connections. Let's take a moment to reflect. What would happen if you stopped chasing him and instead started chasing your dreams, your passions, your goals? What if you redirected that energy into becoming the best version of yourself? How might he see you differently? More importantly, how might you see yourself differently? When you stop chasing, you give him the opportunity to step into his masculine energy and pursue you. This doesn't mean you play hard to get. It means you value yourself enough to let him show you whether he's genuinely interested. And if he's not, that's okay. Your worth doesn't depend on his validation. By stepping out of the chasing mindset, you're not just changing the dynamic of your relationship, you're changing the dynamic of your life. You're shifting from a place of scarcity to one of empowerment, and that's a transformation that will ripple through every aspect of who you are. When you stop chasing, you step into your power. You stop asking, "Why isn't he choosing me?" and start saying, "Am I choosing him? Does this align with my worth, my values, and my vision for my life?" That's the energy of a woman who doesn't need to chase, because she knows she's already enough. This shift is subtle but profound. It's about valuing your time, your energy, and your heart enough to let go of anyone who doesn't value them too. And when you do, you'll find that the right man, the one who truly sees and appreciates your worth, will never make you feel like you have to chase. Let that be your guiding principle. You're not here to convince someone of your value. You're here to embody it. 4. Cultivate inner strength and personal excellence. Have you ever wondered why some women seem to exude an unshakable confidence? They walk into a room, and the energy shifts. Heads turn, not because of their looks alone, but because they carry themselves with a quiet, magnetic strength. What is their secret? It's not magic, it's mastery. These women have cultivated an inner strength that radiates outward, making them irresistible. They don't need to chase anyone because their presence alone is enough to draw people in. This kind of strength isn't about being aggressive or overly assertive. It's about having control over your own life, your emotions, and your actions. Stoicism teaches us that true power comes from within, from mastering ourselves instead of trying to control others. This mastery creates a presence that is impossible to ignore. So, how do you cultivate this kind of inner strength? It begins with investing in yourself, not for him, not for anyone else, but for you. Start by asking yourself, what do I want to improve about my life? What skills, habits, or qualities can I develop that will make me feel proud of who I am? Imagine a woman who dedicates her time to learning a new language, training for a marathon, or mastering a creative skill like painting or writing. She doesn't do it to impress anyone, she does it because it lights her up inside. This kind of passion is contagious. When you're deeply engaged in your own growth, you naturally become more intriguing to others. Here's the key. Personal excellence isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about waking up each day and deciding to be just a little bit better than you were yesterday. And when you do this consistently, you create a life that others can't help but admire. Let's add a layer of Dark Stoic Psychology to this concept. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, you subtly shift the dynamics in any relationship. Instead of waiting for his approval or attention, you channel your energy into something productive and fulfilling. This creates a sense of mystery. He'll wonder what's keeping you so engaged, so vibrant, so alive. But this isn't about playing hard to get. It's about genuinely building a life that excites you. When your days are filled with purpose and passion, you stop seeking validation from others. And that self-assurance is magnetic. Practical steps to build inner strength. Set personal goals. Choose a goal that excites and challenges you. It could be anything, starting a fitness journey, writing a book, or launching a side hustle. Commit to it, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because it's meaningful to you. Develop self-discipline. Strength comes from doing the hard things, even when you don't feel like it. Whether it's sticking to a workout routine, learning something new, or simply saying no to distractions, each small act of discipline builds your inner confidence. Practice resilience. Life will throw challenges your way, and how you respond to them defines your character. Instead of shrinking back when things get tough, see obstacles as opportunities to grow. Let's consider an example. Imagine you've always wanted to learn a musical instrument but felt intimidated. You decide to start small, dedicating just 20 minutes a day to practice. Over time, your skills improve, and you begin to feel a sense of pride in your progress. That pride isn't dependent on anyone else's recognition, it's yours alone. Now, think about how that confidence will ripple into other areas of your life. When you've proven to yourself that you can overcome challenges and achieve your goals, you naturally carry yourself with more poise and self-assurance. This is the essence of personal excellence. It's not about being the best, it's about becoming your best. The beauty of cultivating inner strength is that it changes how you see yourself. You stop asking, "Am I good enough for him?" and start saying, "Is he good enough for me?" This subtle shift in mindset empowers you to approach relationships from a place of abundance and confidence, not fear or desperation. When you focus on personal excellence, you also attract people who share your values and drive. The right man will see your ambition and strength as assets, not threats. He'll admire your ability to stand on your own and respect you for it. Let's circle back to a powerful Stoic principle. Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. This applies to relationships too. Don't spend your energy wondering how to impress him or make him stay. Instead, focus on being the kind of woman who naturally inspires love, respect, and admiration. Remember, cultivating inner strength is a journey, not a destination. It's about continuously striving to grow, to learn and become the best version of yourself. And as you do, you'll find that you no longer feel the need to chase anyone, because your life is so full, so vibrant, that the right people will naturally gravitate toward you. So ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today to invest in myself? Start there, because the journey to personal excellence begins with one small step, and that step could change everything. 5. Compliment with intention. Have you ever noticed how most compliments fall flat? Think about it. How often have you heard or even said, "You're so beautiful," or "I love your smile," and watched as the words barely registered? It's not that these compliments are bad, it's just that they're surface level. They don't stick. They don't make you unforgettable. Now, imagine someone giving you a compliment that truly resonates, one that feels personal, thoughtful, and genuine. Maybe it's about your creativity, your resilience, or the way you light up a room with your energy. That's the kind of compliment that makes an impact. When it comes to building attraction, compliments are a powerful tool, but only if they're used wisely. If you want to captivate him, you need to go deeper. Don't just tell him what he already knows. Show him that you see the parts of him that others overlook. Why does this work so well? Compliments that go beyond the surface demonstrate that you're paying attention to who he really is. And here's the secret. Everyone wants to feel seen, understood, and appreciated, not just for their appearance, but for the unique qualities that make them who they are. Start by asking yourself, what do I genuinely admire about him? Maybe it's the way he handles difficult situations with grace, his sense of humor, or the passion he has for his goals. Compliment those things. When you do, you're not just praising him, you're showing that you value substance over superficiality. Let's take this a step further. Dark Stoic Psychology teaches us that genuine compliments create emotional connection. When you highlight someone's deeper qualities, it triggers a sense of validation and trust. He begins to associate you with the feeling of being understood on a profound level, and that's something he won't easily forget. But timing is everything. A compliment that feels forced or overly rehearsed can come across as insincere. Instead, look for natural moments in your conversations to weave in your praise. For example, if he shares a story about overcoming a challenge, acknowledge his resilience. If he talks about his passions, admire his dedication. The more spontaneous your compliment feels, the more genuine it will seem. Let's put this into practice. Imagine he tells you about a project he's been working on, something that clearly excites him. Instead of saying, "That's cool, go deeper," try something like, "I really admire how passionate you are about your work." It's inspiring to see someone so dedicated to what they love. Notice the difference. The first response is forgettable. The second shows that you're truly paying attention and valuing something meaningful about him. Now, let's talk about balance. Compliments are powerful, but they lose their magic if overused. Think of them like spices in a recipe. A little goes a long way, too many, and they lose their flavor. One or two well-placed, thoughtful compliments will have far more impact than a flood of generic flattery. Here's another tip. Be authentic. Don't compliment him just to get on his good side. Praise the things you genuinely appreciate, even if they're small. Authenticity always shines through, and it's far more attractive than empty words. And let's not forget about yourself. Just as you're complimenting him, make sure you're also recognizing your own strengths and qualities. When you value yourself, it sets the tone for how others treat you. Compliments are a two-way street. Don't be afraid to receive them with grace and confidence. At this point, you might be wondering, does this really work? The answer is yes, but only if your compliments come from a place of sincerity and intention. When you master the art of meaningful praise, you create connections that are deeper, more authentic, and undeniably magnetic. So, what's stopping you from trying this today? Take a moment to reflect on the last conversation you had with him. What stood out about him? What did you genuinely admire? Let that be your starting point. If you found this advice helpful, I'd love for you to join the conversation. Like this video and comment number 1 if you're ready to start using compliments as a way to connect on a deeper level. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights that will transform the way you approach relationships. Your words have power, use them wisely, and watch as your connections grow stronger, richer, and more meaningful. And remember, this isn't just about him. It's about stepping into a more confident, intentional version of yourself, one compliment at a time. 6. Use neutrality to see clearly. Let's dive into one of the most overlooked but transformative ways to create meaningful connections: staying neutral. That might sound counterintuitive after all. Isn't passion what fuels attraction? But here's the truth. When you let your emotions run the show, you risk clouding your judgment and idealizing someone who may not actually be right for you. Have you ever fallen for someone so hard that you ignored red flags, made excuses for their behavior, or over-invested emotionally before knowing if they truly aligned with your values. It's a common trap, and one that leads to heartbreak more often than not. That's where the power of neutrality comes in. It allows you to approach relationships with clarity and balance. Neutrality doesn't mean you're indifferent or cold. Instead, it's about maintaining emotional equilibrium, especially in the early stages of a connection. When you stay neutral, you're able to evaluate the relationship objectively, asking yourself, is this person truly a good match for me? Or am I just swept up in the excitement of something new? Stoicism teaches us to see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. Applying this principle to relationships means looking beyond surface-level attraction or fleeting feelings to assess whether the connection is built on a solid foundation. It's about balancing your emotions with reason, so you're not blindsided by infatuation. Here's how you can cultivate neutrality in your approach. First, take a step back and observe his actions. Actions, as the saying goes, speak louder than words. Does he follow through on what he says? Does he treat others with respect? How does he handle stress or challenges? These behaviors reveal more about his character than sweet words or romantic gestures ever could. Next, check in with yourself. How do you feel around him, truly? Are you relaxed, authentic, and confident? Or do you find yourself overthinking, second-guessing, or walking on eggshells to maintain his interest? Your emotional state is a powerful indicator of whether the connection is balanced and healthy. Neutrality also means resisting the urge to rush into decisions. When you're emotionally charged, it's easy to overlook critical details or settle for less than you deserve. Instead, give yourself the time and space to see the full picture. If he's truly interested and aligned with you, he'll respect your pace. Here's an example. Suppose you've just started dating someone who seems perfect on paper. He's charming, successful, and attentive. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement and start imagining a future together. But instead of diving headfirst, practice staying neutral. Observe how he interacts with others, how he handles conflict, and whether his actions consistently align with his words. This approach allows you to evaluate him from a place of curiosity rather than neediness. You're not trying to make him fit into an idealized version of what you want. You're discovering who he really is, and whether that aligns with your values and goals. This brings us to a powerful concept from Dark Stoic Psychology. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're not attached to a specific outcome. When you're detached, you approach relationships with confidence and calmness, knowing that your worth isn't tied to whether things work out with him. This energy is not only empowering but also incredibly attractive. Imagine meeting someone who is genuinely interested in you but doesn't put you on a pedestal or project unrealistic expectations onto you. They're curious, open, and steady, allowing the relationship to unfold naturally. That's the energy you want to bring into your connections. Staying neutral also protects you from the pain of idealization. When you put someone on a pedestal, you risk overlooking their flaws or compatibility issues. Neutrality helps you see both the good and the bad, so you can make informed decisions about whether to invest further. But what if you feel yourself falling too hard, too fast? It's okay. Infatuation is a natural part of human connection. The key is to acknowledge those feelings without letting them take control. Practice grounding techniques, such as journaling or talking with a trusted friend, to keep your emotions in check. One of the most empowering aspects of neutrality is that it shifts the focus back to you. Instead of asking, "Does he like me?" you start asking, "Do I like him? Does this relationship align with my vision for my life?" This mindset not only helps you make better decisions but also reinforces your self-worth. Here's a final thought. Neutrality doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or avoiding vulnerability. It means balancing your heart with your head, so you can build relationships that are based on mutual respect, compatibility, and shared values. By staying grounded and objective, You give yourself the gift of clarity, and that clarity is what leads to lasting, fulfilling connections. So the next time you feel yourself getting caught up in the whirlwind of attraction, take a step back, breathe, observe, stay neutral, and watch as the right connections unfold naturally without force or desperation. You're not here to convince anyone of your worth. You're here to find someone who sees and celebrates it as much as you do. 7. Build a life others want to be part of. Imagine a woman who radiates happiness, confidence, and fulfillment. She walks into a room, and people are drawn to her, not because of what she's wearing or how she looks, but because her energy is magnetic. She's not trying to impress anyone. She doesn't need to. Her life is so full, so vibrant, that others naturally want to be part of it. This is the essence of attraction. Building a life so rich and meaningful that the right person will want to join you on your journey, not to complete you, but to grow alongside you. But how do you create such a life? It starts with shifting your focus from seeking validation to cultivating your passions, goals, and inner joy. When you stop chasing others and start investing in yourself, you not only transform your own experience, but also become irresistible to those around you. Here's where the wisdom of Stoicism comes into play. One of its core principles is to focus on what's within your control. You can't control how someone feels about you, but you can control how you spend your time, the habits you develop, and the energy you bring into the world. Start by asking yourself, what lights me up? What makes me feel alive? Maybe it's pursuing a creative passion like painting or writing, diving into fitness and wellness, or dedicating time to personal growth through reading, travel, or learning a new skill. Whatever it is, make it a priority. When your life is filled with activities and experiences that bring you joy, you create a natural aura of confidence and contentment. People are drawn to this energy because it's rare and inspiring. You're no longer waiting for someone to make you happy. You've already found happiness within yourself. Let's break this down into actionable steps. Pursue your passions. Think about the hobbies or interests you've always wanted to explore but never made time for. Whether it's learning photography, joining a dance class, or starting a blog, give yourself permission to dive in. These pursuits aren't just for fun. They're a powerful way to connect with your authentic self and express your creativity. Focus on your goals. What are your long-term dreams? Maybe it's advancing in your career, starting a business, or completing a degree. Set clear, achievable goals and create a plan to work toward them. Not only will this give you a sense of purpose, but it will also demonstrate your ambition and drive, qualities that are incredibly attractive. Prioritize self-care. Building a fulfilling life means taking care of your body, mind, and spirit. This could mean developing a fitness routine, practicing mindfulness or meditation, or simply carving out time for rest and relaxation. When you prioritize your well-being, you show others that you value yourself, and that sets the tone for how they'll treat you. Let me share a powerful insight from Dark Stoic Psychology. The more you focus on your own growth and happiness, the less you depend on others for validation. This independence creates a subtle but compelling dynamic. Instead of chasing someone's attention, you're inviting them to step into your world, a world they'll find hard to resist. But here's the key. Building a magnetic life isn't about creating a checklist of impressive achievements. It's about finding what genuinely fulfills you and living in alignment with your values. When you do this, your energy shifts in a way that others can feel. You're not chasing them, they're drawn to you. Now, let's address an important point. This isn't about pretending to be busy or using your accomplishments as bait. It's about authentically becoming the kind of person you'd admire and respect. When you live a life you're proud of, you naturally attract people who align with your energy and values. Think about it. Would you rather be with someone who's waiting around for a relationship to bring them happiness, or someone who's already thriving and inviting you to share in their joy? The latter, of course. And that's exactly the kind of person you want to be. As you build this vibrant, fulfilling life, you'll notice a shift in how others respond to you. Men will be intrigued by your independence and inspired by your drive. But more importantly, you'll feel a deep sense of confidence and self-worth that no external validation can take away. This is the magic of living fully. It changes not only how others see you, but also how you see yourself. You realize that you don't need anyone to complete you. You're already whole. And from this place of completeness, you're able to build connections that are rooted in mutual respect, admiration, and shared growth. So what's the first step you can take today to build a life that excites you? Maybe it's signing up for that class you've been eyeing, taking a solo trip to a place you've always wanted to visit, or simply dedicating an hour to a hobby you love. Whatever it is, start now. Remember, the best relationships aren't about two people completing each other. They're about two whole, fulfilled individuals coming together to create something even greater. And that starts with you building a life that others want to be part of, a life that reflects the incredible person you already are. You've discovered that chasing him, or anyone, isn't the path to love or happiness. Instead, it drains your energy and diminishes your worth in your own eyes and his. You've explored how happiness starts with you, how adopting an abundance mindset can set you free, and how stepping back to cultivate inner strength changes the dynamic of attraction entirely. You've learned the art of meaningful compliments, how to connect on a deeper level and make someone feel truly seen. You've explored the power of neutrality, of balancing your emotions with logic to build relationships based on clarity and authenticity. Finally, you've uncovered the secret to creating a life so vibrant, so aligned with your true self, that love and connection become inevitable byproducts of your personal growth. This isn't about playing games or trying to manipulate someone's feelings. It's about recognizing your inherent worth and living in alignment with it. It's about shifting your mindset from, how do I make him want me? To, how do I create a life that I love, regardless of who's watching? Imagine, for a moment, what your life will look like when you fully embrace these principles. You wake up each morning excited for the day ahead, not because of anyone else's attention, but because you're pursuing goals, passions, and dreams that light you up from within. You're surrounded by people who respect and admire you, not because you chased them, but because your energy naturally drew them in. This is the power of attraction, not the kind that comes from chasing, but the kind that comes from radiating confidence, joy, and authenticity. So here's my question for you. Are you ready to stop chasing and start attracting? Are you ready to step into the most empowered, magnetic version of yourself and create the kind of connections you've always dreamed of? If this resonates with you, I'd love for you to be part of this growing community of women who are redefining what it means to love and live authentically. Like this video, comment number 1 if this message hit home for you, and subscribe to our channel for more life-changing insights. The path forward is clear, but the choice is yours. Will you continue chasing? Or will you step into the kind of life and love you truly deserve? Thank you so much for being here and for investing this time in yourself. Remember, every day is an opportunity to grow, to shine, and to move closer to the person you want to be. You're already on that journey, and I can't wait to see where it takes you. Until next time, take care of yourself, trust in your worth, and know that the best is yet to come. Let's make it happen together.